New report finds non-religious people face stigma and discrimination. A new study finds that agnostic and atheist Americans face prejudice and shame, hide their secular identities, and primarily identify themselves as atheists and humanists. The report was produced by American Atheists. Round of applause for them. A national civil rights organization, by surveying nearly 34,000 non-religious people residing in the United States. More than 3/4 of the participants identify very much with the terms non-religious, coming in at almost exactly 80%, atheist, again, almost at 80%, and secular at 75%. 57% say their primary non-religious identity is, quote, atheist. 6.9% say their non-religious identity is agnostic. The report reflects that participants often go through negative experiences because of their non-religious identities in social media with 58% and within their families at 54%. According to the report, the LGBTQ community, African Americans, Latinos, and ex-Muslims report experiencing attached layers of prejudice due to their race or religious upbringing. 17.2% of survey participants were likely to be depressed, and 25.6% frequently encountered one or more signs of loneliness and social isolation.
I'm just impressed that they're covering us on religious websites now, like religious-related websites now. Like this is a very famous website, religion news service, and they're not acting like we don't exist. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, religious news service actually has been covering a lot of just secular and atheist related stuff recently. I go to their website to look for news stories to cover often. But first of all, I again want to thank American Atheists for conducting this research, because conducting massive surveys like this is not a small undertaking. It requires a lot of resources, or it requires a lot of time and a lot of work. And it is so important because atheists and agnostics, etc., non-religious people generally, are very understudied populations. When there's religiously focused academic journals, they're just kind of left out of it. It's kind of an afterthought. And it is a huge growing movement, not only in America, but across the world. So I'm so thankful that American Atheists produced this report. They have a lot of reports that they've been putting out from this massive survey that they did. This is just one of the latest. So I'm always excited to find for more data, more details, and juicy analysis from this survey. And Rivka, I believe, may have participated in this.
I did. And I also want to point out, I really appreciate how this article frames this. They talk about American Atheists being a civil rights organization, which it is. It is a civil right issue when people are discriminated against for not having a religion. Also, they talk about an organization that seeks to achieve religious equality for all Americans, because that's very important, because that is part of what makes American Atheists a civil rights organization, because it's discussing the religious privilege that is not equal or equitable for people who don't subscribe to a religion or a particular religion. So I think that I really liked how that was framed, because often, to your point, either atheists are ignored, or the discussion about them is all pejorative, you know? So I thought that was interesting. And to your point about the large number of non-religious people, I mean, in the United States, they put some of the numbers as high as 20%, which would make the largest minority in the country. So and because of the stigma, a lot of people, as this is saying, may not say anything or may not be open about it. So yeah, I think that also kudos to American Atheists for the incredible amount of work that this took to produce this.
I do want to highlight this. So this is non-religious people.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Identifying as different with different labels, right? By the way, just because you don't identify with a certain label, which is completely your choice, and all, of course it is, but it doesn't mean that you're not that thing. It's okay. For example, if you don't believe in God, you are by definition of an atheist, even if you don't identify with the label of atheist, right? And it's completely fine for somebody not to want to use the label atheist, but you can be I'm not an atheist. You're still an atheist, but you just don't wear the label, okay? By definition. However, I'm so impressed to see that so many people actually are comfortable with using the label because a lot of people make it seem like they don't believe in God, but they shy away from the label atheist and they think it's too aggressive. And I have some, non-religious, non-believing pussies who keep on, like, in my comment section, come here like, I don't believe in God and blah blah blah, but I don't like to call myself an atheist because it's just so aggressive, blah 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 blah. So I thought, like, these people are actually, there's a lot of them. I thought they have much more of, like, a lot of people who don't believe in God feel like that, but apparently not. Like, look, it's actually the second most popular label for people to use. Like, close to 80% of people are very much among all non-religious people, very much identify with the identity of an atheist. I mean, the reason why I think that's very important is because look at all these labels here. Most of them are not demonized. This is why I very much disagree with Richard Dawkins Foundation's campaign, openly secular, to normalize secularism. I was like, normalize secularism? Who's like, where's the taboo for secularism? Religious people even say that they're secular, right? Like, I mean, okay, maybe there's a little taboo, but who, like, really, you want to normalize being a humanist? Like, where's the anti-humanist people? Where's the anti-skeptic people? Even religious people call themselves humanists and skeptics. What do these need to be normalized? Are these actual taboos? No, this is the one that is demonized. This is the one that needs to be normalized. This is the one that you need to stop being like a weak ass beta pussy and wear it proudly as a label just to, like, fight against undeserved taboos, undeserved demonizations of group of people. This is the one that I really don't understand. Like, this is when I realized that Richard Dawkins Foundation, like, when they did that openly secular, like, you guys are just a bunch of pussies who are scared to wear the labels that actually need to be normalized. Like, yeah, this is why when I, like, 15 years ago, when I started Atheist Republic, some people were like, don't call yourself an atheist. That is, like, too negative. Like, fuck, shut up.
No, and what is our motto? What is our motto, Armin?
Well, I can't. Okay, we're not just atheists. We're atheists. I give a shit. But that's a different point. That's a different point. I just want to say that, like, even some people who I admire a lot, okay, like, who is this? Yeah. No, I'm not gonna call them out. Who's it? I forgot their name. You know what? I was gonna call them out. I forgot their name. But they recently in my comment section came out and said, like, oh yeah, it was in the congratulations of when
it was Hassan Redwan.
Oh yeah, it was Hassan Redwan. Hassan Redwan was like, congratulations, Susanna. Like, I don't identify as an atheist. I'm like, okay, well, congratulations for being a pussy. I know admire you.
Man, don't do that to Hassan. I love him. I love that man.
I love him too, but I'm just like, I don't want to call people out. Okay, this is like what they're like dismissing the label atheist as if it's something that needs to be, like, as if we need to congratulate people for being, like, not using the label atheist? Like, yeah, okay, so thank you for not taking a stance, I guess. Thank you for not participating in normalizing the label that actually needs that is being demonized the most. Thank you for that. So apparently it's not, I see that it's not working. Like I'm so glad to see that among non-religious people, 80% of them, this is huge. Like they're wearing the label atheist proudly, and they're like, it even say very, like it's a dark blue says very much. So they're not even shying away from it. This is like the normalization of the label atheist. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah,
okay?
I knew that you were going to be like very excited about that because it's people who are saying somewhat. Wait, if you go to that graph, that's actually the highest percentage out of all of the categories.
Oh, you're right. See, this is why you're the CEO. Because I thought I was looking at this, and I was looking at this, and I was thinking like, oh, atheist is the second highest up, but no, this is the light blue is not like no, the light blue is like also yes. So if you add up, oh yeah, you're right. If you add it all together, atheist number one. We're number one. We are number one. Okay.
Like I understand why you're so passionate about destigmatizing it, but because of who I am as a person, I just have to say, like if you identify more as an agnostic just because you feel like that's a better label of your own status of gnosis, like that's fine. But we have some hilarious comments in reaction to your rant, Armin. Kenji is saying, can we have a meme of the Chad atheist next to the Virgin Humanist? And then Asian American is saying, Seamus Harder, logician daddy Armin. But what's interesting is this article actually does talk about this exact thing of people thinking that atheist is an ugly word. Like a woman who identifies as an atheist humanist says that she's like, well, when I was struggling with my non-belief, I thought atheist sounded like an ugly word. So I call myself an atheist humanist, which those are not mutually exclusive. But if you scroll down in the article, you can see another graph that shows where the context of experiences of negative experiences and discrimination. So number one is definitely going to be social media, which I think we could all expect. I would much rather have a negative experience on actually, I don't know if that's true. It depends on how it goes about. But, social media is like, yeah, I mean, everyone faces discrimination on social media.
Okay, this chart, I could just change the label. This chart doesn't tell you much. You know why? Well, actually, maybe it does. Because this chart could also, the top two at least be where are the top places where you actually engage with other people? Like social media is number one because that's where most people engage with other people. Like, what did you expect? I don't know. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and also families. It also makes sense. That's major relationships within our life. But it is the majority of people, saying that that's where they do experience negative events. And then it goes down to military, education, employment, private businesses, and mental health services, reproductive care. And I'm glad that the smallest percentage is the police.
I don't know. I think this needs to be adjusted for something, right? Like this needs to be adjusted
for frequency of interaction.
For frequency of interaction. And
also the importance of the relationship.
Is the police the lowest percentage because not that many people from the police department participated? You know what I mean? Was this?
No, I think it's
per capita. Is this adjusted for the number, based on the percentage? Yeah, I think it is.
No, I think it's within your interactions with the police. So it's I don't even know how often, if you're having an interaction with the police, that being an atheist would even come up. Personally,
I don't know. I just
sometimes it comes up based on what you're wearing, where your interaction is, whether let's say it's a atheist rally or the stickers that people have on their cars, things like that. But I think that I'm glad to see that that's low, but you're right. It probably may not be something that would necessarily come up as much, but the mental health one, it's not that high, but that's a serious one that I know a lot of people suffer. And specifically, I want to talk about substance abuse services, because many of the substance abuse programs are court mandated, and most of them are 12-step programs, which are religious. So Jeremy Raskin, the great senator from Maryland, and some other folks for Secular Coalition for America and others had put forth a appropriations bill that 1% of the 2020 budget goes to secular substance abuse services, because they do exist, and unfortunately most people don't know about them. So that's something that I think is a big issue for some people in any community. If you are in need of those services, or if you're court mandated to go to them, and the 12 steps are overtly religious. But I was going to make some point about negative experiences. Now I can't remember what they were, but education is fairly high too, but yeah, I think that some of this is self-reporting too, Armin. So that's why you might see, oh, I know what the point I was going to make, and I don't know if this is true or not, but if you look at, like, for example, to the police point, if you look at the number of people in prison who are religious versus the number of people in prison who claim they're atheists, it's very minute versus the large religiosity. So, not that atheists have less interactions with the police, but that's not what I'm trying to say. I just thought that was kind of funny.
That is
corollary.
Yeah, again, guys, we're just having fun with this. Obviously, we finding correlation and causation with data is like a very complicated thing, and there's many external factors. We're just having fun with data. Which is fine to have fun with data, but just don't come up with conclusions just by. I'm not saying Rivka is doing that, but just warning the people in the live chat that don't just compare numbers and try to come up with a conclusion. But yeah, it's fun to notice these things though. I do want to say among these labels, I mean, I think I am all of them, right? I'm non-religious, I'm atheist, I'm secular, I'm free thinker, I'm humanist, I'm skeptic. I'm also agnostic atheist. A lot of people don't understand that agnosticism and atheism are not mutually exclusive. There are certain definitions of God that cannot be, that are unfalsifiable. So you can't technically make a positive claim about their lack of existence, or you have to, like a deistic God, the only logical position is to become an agnostic atheist. That doesn't mean just same way that you're an agnostic towards the existence of Santa Claus. So I'm not but I'm not gonna wear these labels. There's there's many things that I am that I don't feel that serves that much of a purpose to wear as a label, right? Even though I am technically those things, right? Because the labels labels are useful. People are like, oh, I don't like labels because it bugs me. Labels are how we communicate. Every word that is coming out of your mouth is a goddamn label, you idiot, right? So you're okay. Just shut up and say nothing if you don't like labels at all, right? Labels are useful. Labels are how we communicate, and the labels we choose to wear helps. It's the mildest level of activism that you could do. If you don't want to do any activism, but just the modest level of activism, like for example, if there's a difference between being just gay and being openly gay, right? Just being openly gay and doing nothing else but being openly gay is a mild form of activism because you're normalizing it, right? Well, mild depending on where you are, okay? It could be actually it could be not mild at all in some places, right? But I'm just saying being just wearing a label is a form of activism, and I suggest wear the atheist label because that's the one that needs to be normalized the most. Anyways,
people are poking fun at you, Armin. So I guess you would be in the somewhat category. And then also, I am labeling you cranky.
Yeah, you guys think this is the most fun I have when I.
No, I know that's what's so funny for me. But I also love when you highlight someone's comment in the live chat and you start calling them out, and then their next comments in the live chat are like, "Oh no, oh crap," running emojis. Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe. Link in the description below.